friends, those yet unseen of the fleshless flesh, and that half of years determined to rule shall be all gathered then in that place. A torrent of madness, a tempest of death, for which the human body could never atone, shall sweep over you. Hello everyone and welcome to the Comics Corner. I am Mike here with Johnny.
Hey.
And we have a slightly different setup here, but we are talking about Berserk Volumes 7 through 9.
Wait, hold on. You just jumped from thought to thought. What the hell was that? We have a different setup. Move on. No, we have a different setup. We are now across from one another instead of in separate buildings.
Hi there, Johnny.
Mike. Nice. I can see him. Hi.
What's up, Skylar? Yeah, we can still see you guys in the chat. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody there that's joining us so far.
So, yeah, we did this different setup. The camera is now in a better position for the book. It's easier for us. I have a different monitor in front of me. I can access a bunch of different resources over here.
Like the chat.
Like the chat, like Diamond Retail, like mycomicshop.com, like this Marvel Epic Collection spreadsheet. I've got it all permanently open.
Whatever sports game is going on at the moment.
Which there are none, so we are focused on Berserk Volume 3. Also, different setup with the Tuesday stuff. We're going to start pre-recording things outside of the previews, reviews, but we're going to do it more often. Shorter, more concise, straighter to the point. But you can still catch us live. Every Thursday at 8 o'clock.
Thursday and Mondays if you care about Pokemon, which I know a lot of you do. In fact, if you check pastimes.net/social, we've got the link to the YouTube account there, our YouTube page. If you want to subscribe, that way you could get the notifications for when we do the Tuesday and possible Wednesday videos as well. Like Johnny said, those ones aren't going to be streamed live, but because we're going to try and do them a little bit quicker, a little bit more just to the point of, hey, here's what's coming out. We've already got one up for this week. I know a lot of people have actually checked that out so far, so feel free to stop by pastimes.net/social, click the YouTube link there, and that way you can check out what we're doing as a sample. If you guys always have any feedback, you can let us know on any of these live streams, or comics@pastimes.net. You can shoot us an email there, let us know what you liked or didn't like. But yeah, we're going to be trying to do a bit more of some shorter form pre-recorded stuff, but that also frees us up to do, all sorts of nonsense. So we could, Johnny and I could do all sorts of different comics content on there. So
it's true, but for now, the comics content we're going to do is reviewing Berserk Volume 3. What did you think? Wait, we love Berserk. Let us preface it with that. I think so far we've given 1 and 2 like 10s out of 10s.
Yeah.
So what do you give this one?
Honestly, maybe closer to about an 8.
Whoa, you're going to go that low.
And without getting into any spoilers just yet, so the review part we try to, keep relatively spoiler-free. Compared to the other books, I feel like not as much happened, if that makes sense. Like, it's a lot more localized.
Calm before the storm.
Oh yeah, bro. Definitely. That's what I hear.
Definitely. You don't know that yet. You're at Red Volume 4.
That's what you've been telling me.
That's what I've been hinting at you.
But there's not really that many new characters. It's more focused on Guts and the Band of the White Hawk, kind of as Book 2 was in its later parts, which isn't bad. But I feel like it treads a lot of the same ground a bit, even within this book of Griffith and his dream, and Guts and what he's going for. We see a lot more of Casca. Yeah, like I feel I'm happy that we kind of see more of her character, because I definitely liked the routes that they were going. But
I do think some of the battle stuff is a lot more redundant, especially in this one. Like, here's another weird name, Band of Thieves.
Yeah.
But they do put an end to it in this one, so that's that's cool. There is some good character development, and also some pretty important stuff happens. That's why I can't give it an 8.
Yeah.
I've got to give it a 9.
Yeah, I can tell that it's setting stuff up for, like,
well, I don't even think it is, but I do think some really important stuff happens in here. The crazy stuff. Mm-hmm. Some real crazy stuff.
It gets taboo. I'd say mature content warning.
Parental advisory right there.
Violence, definitely nudity, especially in this book, man.
Yeah, there's some weird stuff in here.
Some difficult topics, maybe.
You ready to dive in, dude?
Oh, also,
So what's up?
I was gonna say, I know I gave it high marks in previous books for like the art and everything like that. Like his art's definitely getting better too.
Oh yeah.
But also one of the bummers is, as we're gonna see at the opening part here, no more of like the first like couple
I
pages, like
know. I
charcoal,
noticed
like
that.
extra detailed drawings, which is kind of a bummer because those were honestly like some of my favorite. Like we were talking about way back when, if there was like an HD remake of the book, like seeing it all done in like those charcoal drawing styles, but like not getting that is kind of a bummer because I always thought it was like an interesting take on some of the scenes or characters, seeing them in like this slightly more detailed art style. But you know, that's neither here nor there. It's just a small thing that I noticed there.
So the bummer of us having to wait so long in between is like I kind of have to get a few pages in before I'm like back into the story and remember where we left off. So I believe this is right after one of the battles, I mean one of the many, where Casca wasn't feeling well and she forced her way through anyway, and she ended up getting injured, and Guts had to dive off a cliff after her. So I think that's where we pick up.
Yeah. They were hiding out from like the bandits that were like trying to track them down in the forest. They had like their own little cave hideout where they kind of bonded a bit. We get to learn more about each of them. But yeah.
So this important thing that we learned here right in the beginning is that before Guts ever showed up, one of the things Griffith did was he sold himself sexually to this wealthy man who owned like a kingdom, and he sold himself because he was like attracted to young boys. Like he has this whole like sex trafficking thing going on. This like what would you call him? Like a noble, I guess, or something.
Yeah. He's like, I think he's like the governor of whatever.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah.
Crazy berserk stuff. And so Griffith sells himself to him for money because he sees it as just another like stepping stone in it, like his conquest to gain a kingdom of himself. And like Casca knows that he did this, and basically she doesn't understand like why he would do such a thing. Why? And like I said, he just justifies it with,
hey man, we're a mercenary band. We're, like it's not free to take care of all these men, all these horses. Like we need provisions, we need weapons, we need a way to fund this army. And if I've got to do it, then so be it.
And then this is like this crazy scene where like the day after, like she sees him with the governor or the noble, whatever, the rich dude, she sees him washing himself in a river, and as like they start talking, and this is where she asks him why he did it, he's like cleansing himself, and he like starts like scratching away at his own like flesh, and like it's just crazy because like he's deranged. He's crazy. So
it's like in a trance. But yeah.
So yeah, Casca shares that with Guts, and then this stuff in the cave, it really is a lot of like, what are you laughing at?
No, go on, yeah.
It's just a lot of her talking about like how she views Griffith as this like icon, this like larger than life individual, and that she's like so dedicated to him. She is his sword, she is his weapon, she is there to help Griffith gain his kingdom because she would have been nothing without him. So she's just indebted to him.
Which, to be fair, he is definitely larger than life, and he has that kind of magnetism on the entirety of the Band of the Hawk. Like a lot of people talk about, like they've got their own personal dreams, but they kind of got caught up in this whirlwind of Griffith and his kind of charisma. So I definitely get it, but yeah, like you said, that's one of those things where it's like, all right, we know this kind of trope with Casca and all that.
See, how do you give this?
What, like that fight scene, or
this whole thing? Because it's got this in it. So okay,
it's definitely awesome. Like Griffith, Guts is a badass as usual.
So while they were hiding out in that cave, some guys were hunting them still, trying to track them down, and so they go to get away, Casca and Guts, and on their way out, they get surrounded by literally 100 men, and it's this leader, and he's the guy. Casca messed up his face, and then he got her to fall off the cliff somehow. I can't remember if he stabbed her, if it was an arrow or what, but this is the dude. So he comes and surrounds them with 100 men, and the ensuing battle is literally Guts taking on 100 opposing soldiers, and it's some pretty badass stuff, man. It's what we've come to expect. It's good old berserk violence, crazy splash pages.
Dude's getting cut in half.
Dude's getting sliced in half. Their eyeballs popping out of their
eyeball action in this.
Yeah, dude,
book.
so detailed. Can you? Nah, you can't really see the eyeballs. That's okay. I can. That's why you gotta come buy one. We sell them here, and if you come and you buy a Berserk Deluxe Edition, and you say you're buying it because of Johnny and Mike on the Comics Corner, you watched that stream, what did we give them? What will we do, 15% off?
I think 15% off is reasonable.
That's solid, because that's taxing a little more, you know?
Yeah,
10% solid, it's something, but it's always like, oh, it's just tax. You know, so you gotta eat the 15
exactly.
so you get a little more bang for your buck watching this stream.
Fair, even paying full price of the 50+ tax for these guys, like the quality is there. Like it's what, 600 some pages of some quality mangoes, some tasty mangoes.
Yeah, these are, I mean, Mike and I just brag about these nonstop. And next week, no, 2 weeks from now, we're supposed to be getting, that looks like a bot. 2 weeks from now, we're supposed to be getting volume 6. So we got to start, you know, plowing through these. You got 4 and 5 already, Mike?
I've
got 4 and 5 already?
I dipped into 4. We'll talk about that at the end. Also, real quick, I know usually not to one kind of the. Either way, the best part is that bot had come here before. If you go to bigfollows.com, that redirects you to pastimes.net/social. So.
What did you say my computer? No, we're good. Okay. All right. Anyways, so they get attacked by these 100 men, and Guts goes in to like defend Casca, and he's like, you know, you get out of here, I'm Guts, and oh man, dude, I love this. Like, there's always like a bigger dude with thicker armor and a crazier weapon.
I was like,
it's like a trope.
I made that joke even last time of. The best part about it is, there's always, some dude with cool armor, like a big, like, usually just like a blunt weapon that he uses to like show off how strong they are. And like.
Yeah, this dude's got this crazy wrecking ball.
Yeah.
It reminds me of this Clayface action figure I used to have. He came with like a spiked ball like this that would launch out of his Clayface arm if you like filled it with like, I guess just air. So like this crazy battle is going on, and like Guts is injured. He's already been hit by an arrow or like struck by a sword. Casca is realizing that like in this last year or 3 years that Guts has been part of the Band of the Hawk, that he has just honed in his skills as a swordsman. He is like he's the best swordsman basically. And so oh dude, he shatters the wrecking ball. I mean, this thing's crazy, dude.
It's so good because like as always, here's like the other soldiers talking up this dude on how strong he is. Like his armor could like withstand, like a mountain falling on it. That flail, the spike ball at the end of the flail could like crush a water buffalo's skull, but then naturally, get Guts in the fight, and him and his big sword is always able to topple whatever they throw at him.
So, like we said, the charcoal pages are gone, but the art has gone up a notch. It's like an in-betweener. The artwork's better than it was, but the charcoal pages were filthy.
Every once in a while, the anatomy gets wonky, but like that's just me.
Not too bad though.
There's one picture of Griffith that he's got some real long legs. I'll put it that way.
Dude, look. Well, Griffith is creepy and slender. Leave him alone.
He's got some Bayonetta legs.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, there's nothing really to talk about other than like the point. It's why you gotta buy these, because you appreciate this artwork. The story is great, but like this art.
I know we gloss over the fight scenes, but I mean, like they're highly detailed.
Because otherwise, I'm just gonna be holding it up, giving you like every page for you to stare at, because they're amazing.
Yeah, exactly. No,
yeah, but it's basically just a book of splash pages that are filthy and detailed. Like you gotta see it to believe it, dude. He catches an arrow, like he.
Yeah,
dude gets a shot off with an arrow, and he just like palms it, and he's like, I'm gonna keep fighting. Dude's like, his left hand is busted. He's like, nah, I'm Guts. I don't care. Kind of a precursor to what we saw in the beginning when we started reading Volume 1. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wonder what the hell happens, man. How do we get there?
Yeah, exactly. That's right. How did he lose an eye? What happened to one of his arms? Like that is like kind of like the wild thing I was thinking about too when I was like you mentioned, like it's been a while since we did Volume 2, but just kind of like recapping and thinking about what happened. I was like, wait a minute, we still have so much to learn about like Guts as a character, like because
it just takes the most wicked turn.
It was good because like they allude to so much in like the first like 3 volumes that like by the time we're getting here and like we're like chronologically now going through Gus's early life, like it's just like, man, he's got a lot of turns to take.
I do think it's good storytelling though. It's an interesting way that it's written.
Yeah.
But dude, Casca's gonna get like raped by these dudes, and she ends up grabbing like a stick and stabbing this dude in the eye. It's vicious.
A lot of eyeball violence, a lot of eye trauma.
And then as that happens, the Band of the Hawk shows up to rescue Casca, and they do. And sure enough, she's like, "Oh my God, we got to go back to save Guts. He's fighting 100 dudes." Well, at that point, it was like half 100 dudes. I love when he said that. He's like, "He's killed half of 100 men." I'm like, "You mean 50?" I think that's the number, the word number you were looking for. But hey,
half a hundo.
Whatever, half a hundo. I guess I'm gonna start talking in those terms. Yeah. How much does this cost? If it's $20,
these Berserk books,
1/5 of 100.
These deluxe editions, half a hundo.
I guess that's what they are. So buy 2 for a hundo. But if you buy 2, we'll make it worth your while.
It won't be half.
So here's where it gets crazy: is they show up to the battlefield, the Band of the Hawk with Casca, and Guts has survived.
No longer half a hundo, a full hundo.
Off 100 men by himself, which adds to his legend, which is why it's so cool. So, like, man, see, 8 out of 10. Dude, we're this far in, and it's been nothing but badass.
Wait till we get a little bit further, and then it's
it dips a little bit.
And,
but you gotta understand.
No, I definitely understand. I realize.
I'll explain why it's worth it at the end. Not the end. I mean, the end of this episode, not the end of the books.
The series, yeah.
So, yeah, then they get back. Guts is, I mean, he's seriously fucked up. That might be our only one for the night, but he's messed up, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the whole Band of the Hawk is celebrating, and Judeo ends up giving Casca some fairy dust.
Yeah, to help with.
Remember, that's part of this universe. You think it's just horses and swords. No, there's demons and fairies. It's crazy.
That Puck was involved.
Yeah. So, but it's supposed to like be like a magical like cure-all. So she brings it to Guts to, she gives it to him, rubs it on his wounds, and he's like, "Whoa, this is crazy, like miracle healing." And she's like, "Yeah, it's from fairies." And like, I was like, man, good thing he doesn't have any happy thoughts or he might fly away. That's what I was thinking.
But also,
look at this art, dude.
Yeah,
look at there's actually a couple
longing images of Griffith looking to the middle distance, being like handsome as always, and then
he's gorgeous, dude. But no, dude, there's more than a few splash pages in here that I'm gonna pause at, I thought were like, I was like, man, if this was a poster, I would hang it up on my wall.
But also at this point in time, Griffith is like off having some like war meeting, so he's not at the camp right now. But
no, he had come back, or he was gone doing that, but then he came back when he heard that they found Casca. He came back early for them. So more back and forth thing. Yeah, this is where they go to greet him, and like Casca's all nervous, and like Guts is like, "Get in there, you little rascal." So then this is a cool cutaway. So like they're all celebrating, and then out of nowhere it cuts to this castle in Midland, where I can't remember the name. It's like this tiger force. Oh no, this tiger.
The white tiger.
Okay, sorry, it's not Midland. The army of Midland, who Griffith and the Band of the Hawk fight for, are attacking the Empire stronghold of Doldry, which is their enemy of this 100-year war. This is like the last stronghold. This is like the last battle of the war. Like this is what it's all leading up to. Is this? So this like tiger band is like there to fight the rhino band, and like and it's not going well.
Yeah, white tigers, purple rhinos.
They can't get through. They've never been able to penetrate. So now they're having this war meeting where they're basically saying what I just said. Like, we can never get through this. Like, this would end the 100-year war. And Griffith is like, yeah, I'll do it. And everyone's like, yeah, okay, Griffith. Like, we're not going to give you all of our guys. And he's like, oh, no, just me and the Band of the Hawk.
Yeah, me and my boys.
And this is the ratio. They were like, you're like 5,000, and that castle holds 30,000. Yeah. And Griffith is like, yep, just give the order, sire. And so the king gives the order. And this is all part of Griffith's plan, because he's trying to rise up in the ranks to get his own kingdom, right? This is the way to do it, or so.
Because again, he's an outsider. He is of common blood, whereas all these other knights and leaders in that war room are all noblemen. They hold land. They're of royal line. So.
And a couple of them approve of what Griffith is doing, but the majority of them despise him because basically he's showing them up. He's showing up. Like you just say, this commoner showing up with this band of mercenaries doing better than these like trained soldiers of the kingdom.
Yeah, only like 2 guys actually back Griffith.
Yeah. So there's this crazy big dude who leads the Rhino. He's discouraged with this dude.
Big, strong dude in big armor.
It's coming to an end though. This is the last line of that stuff.
Exactly, Nothing wrong with it. But it is just a noticeable trope.
Yeah, and but here's the twist: is what we find out now is that this fortress stronghold of Doldry, the king of it, the governor, the ruler, it's forward in Japan. That's the way they do it. So
yeah, it's
this
just
is their
cultural thing of reading. We read left to right in Japan. It's right to left. In this one, sometimes English translated manga will also flip the images so that you don't have to you just read it like you're used to.
That's BS.
Yeah, exactly.
This is the way it's supposed to be read.
Yeah, exactly. And in a lot of ways,
you get used to it.
The art
quick
is angled that way, or it makes more sense reading it in that direction. But yeah, honestly, Johnny said, you get used to it pretty quickly. I remember way back when I was in high school and I was reading manga stuff online. Every once in a while, sometimes the translation ones wouldn't, or they would change the image order, and I'd be 5 pages into it before I realized, oh, I've been reading this the wrong direction. But yeah, in these books, and honestly, most of the manga that we have over there, the My Hero Academia ones that we've got, the Dragon Ball ones. They are all you read right to left, and it's just translated. But again, it's once you're reading these, it just becomes second nature. And then I just went back to reading another regular comic book right after this, and you just kind of click back into left to right. But
so the twist we find out here at the end of this chapter: this purple rhino dude, the leader of Doldry, happens to be that lord, that governor, that Griffith sold himself to all those years back before Guts joined the Band of the Hawk. So everything's coming full circle. That's who Griffith originally. That's it.
Found out that he is facing the White Hawk, so he knows that Griffith will be on the battlefield. And he said, if you come across Griffith,
you can't hurt him.
Capture him.
Because he's still obsessed. He wants. He's he describes him as fine wine. So even men love Griffith as much as women do. Look at that ass. That's why.
Exactly. Yeah, he remembers that.
Slender. Yeah, so he's all into that. And so this battle's about to take place. And also internally, Guts knows that this is going to be his last battle with the Band of the Hawk. That was part of some of the discussion he was having with Casca, that he wants to leave. He hasn't really explained why yet, but he's going to leave, and we do find out why. It has a lot to do with in the previous book when he accidentally eavesdropped on Griffith's conversation with the princess, where he said to her that a friend is somebody who he views as an equal.
Yeah.
And that really hit Guts in the guts. So, so he's acknowledging internally that's the probably last time he swings his sword beneath the banner of the Band of the Hawk. Mm-hmm. So, badass splash page right there, calling the Vanguard, led by our boy Guts. And, so they go and they're attacking the Doldry Fortress, and they do a straight attack. Beautiful artwork. Look how detailed that is, dude. Mm-hmm. That's why this guy's been pumping them out for 30 years. It's got to take a long time to draw these, but it's worth it. Look at this dude.
But yeah, they just charge on headlong into the main line of the Purple Rhinos, and he's just making a break for their general, which the soldiers or the cavalrymen of the Purple Rhino think is insane because nobody's ever done that, and let alone just the one lone guy at the Vanguard, Guts, just making his way through the enemies.
Yeah, because we said, even the Purple Rhino know, wait, we're outnumbering these guys seriously 5 to 1. What's up?
Yeah, Scholar, that'll definitely. I mean, hey man, maybe it's just you get a different view of the manga at that point if you're reading it at the end first. So
it's an interesting tactic. It's like a Tarantino movie.
The Tarantino way of doing a manga.
So the governor notices that based off the military leaders, what he's doing, his tactics, that he's just gonna kill Griffith. So he's like, well, I better get down there and.
What up, Doc?
What up, Doc? Indeed. Yeah, we're
also,
berserking,
Doc,
buddy.
real quick, I think we should be getting our what's it, Tasha Cauldron, the D&D book in hopefully soon. So don't worry, I'll have one set aside for you, my man. But yeah, sorry, you were saying, yeah, he realized, the governor realized that the general is kind of poised to, like, maybe kill everyone, including Griffith. So he's like, all right, well, I'm gonna suit up for battle. I'm gonna head to the battlefield. Where's my horse?
Dude, look at this.
Yeah, it's a lot of dudes.
Probably just took a black page and drew with a white pen, or however you do it. That's
sweet,
wild, man. So yeah, so then we find out what the Band of the Hawks plan was that they separated into two groups actually, and the main group like went and attacked, and then kind of retreated, so that all of the army followed them and left the fortress of Doldry open, and Casca and the second unit now come out of the dust storm, and they're going to attack and take the fortress. But we find out that our boy here with one eye has been left behind for one final battle with his girl Casca. Boom!
Left behind or was waiting?
Shark Adon.
God, yeah. I gotta always say, the armor is so good, even if it's, you know, like, I was always, I don't know. Like, growing up as a kid, I always loved, like, medieval stuff. I remember, like, in, like, 3rd grade writing, like a 10-page report about like medieval castles and armors and weapons and stuff like that. It's like the armor and the aesthetics of it was always cool to me, even though it's wildly impractical. It just looks awesome.
Oh, it's badass, dude. So now at this point, based off the governor's command, Guts and the leader of the Purple Rhino are in a one-on-one battle, while Casca's having a one-on-one battle with this dude. So it's like kind of going back and forth, and Casca basically leads the Band of the Hawks to victory, and they have, she has the dude eventually up by, like, the throat, you know, like, with her sword. We'll get there in a second, but Guts runs into some trouble here. First he has this feeling, which is weird. He has this feeling about when Zod, like, how hopeless it was when he fought Zod, and he's like, well, this isn't as hopeless as that. Like, that was the most hopeless. Interesting. Just keep that in mind. Thought about Zod. So, yeah, here's Casca. Got this dude on his knees, knife to the sword to the throat, and he is acting like a coward. And then, like a coward, like pops out a little crossbow and gets Casca with a poison arrow, not to kill her, but just to like knock her out. And that's the end of that chapter. Sweet artwork, dude.
The end of that volume.
So, at the end there of that battle, Guts' sword broke. That's the trouble he got in. So his sword was weakened from that battle with the 100 people, and he never took care of it. He never, like, sharpened it or strengthened it again. So he went to block that dude's... What was it? Did he have, like, a wrecking ball, too?
He had, like, another, like... I think he had, like, a big mace.
Yeah, mace is the word. You're right. Oh, no, he had those roped... No, that's later. So, okay, so... Guts' sword is broke, so he's kind of screwed, right? So, Griffith sees this. Oh, he even says I'm screwed. That wasn't planned. That's funny. Nice. So, he's kind of worried, because he's like, okay, basically, he's screwed. And then we see this shadowed figure up on top of a mountain watching the fight. We're like, who the hell is that? And then it cuts back to Casca fighting this dude, and she actually gets backed into a corner by him, and then she does this badass move where she like uses the sword to kind of like pole vault herself. Is that the right term?
Yeah, pole vault. Yeah.
Pole vaulting herself over dude, and then basically gives him a Chelsea smile like the Joker has in Dark Knight, and just slices dude at like the mouth, and finally kills him.
But goes all the way across.
Yeah. So it cuts back to Guts fighting this dude, swordless, basically screwed. This guy's coming at him. I've said screwed way too many times in the last, like, 40 seconds. I'm so upset with myself. And out of nowhere, that figure we saw at the top of the mountain watching the fight throws something onto the battlefield, and a freaking sword lands, like, right in the nick of time for Guts to take. So Guts picks up this sword from this, like, stranger and slices dude and his sword right in half. Sick.
It's horse.
8 out of 10, eh, Mike?
That's some great art.
We're about halfway through this book, and you're giving it an 8 out of 10.
That horse is about halfway.
I'm rethinking my 9 out of 10.
Halfway cut. Well, it's good now. Wait till like the war ends and we get into like the peace era and the politicking and man, that king, huh?
Yeah. So the king sees this happen. Oh, we're just in the opening splash page. Hold on, let's see what's going on here. Okay, so now they've won. They've won the fight. The governor knows he lost. Guts killed their leader. You know, Griffith is like, take everybody, you know, kill them, take no prisoners, blah, blah, blah. And now we get a one-on-one meeting with him and the governor. Mm-hmm. And the governor is pleading with him like, oh, let me taste you one more time. You were the best I ever had. And Griffith is like, I don't even think about you. He's like, you're emotionally attached to me. He's like, I've used you. That's all you were to me. Then he puts his sword up to dude's eye and stabs him through the brain.
A lot of eye trauma still.
That's it, man. That's it, dude. Halfway through, man. This book is killer. So Casca got hit with that arrow. Guts goes and finds her. He has this sword. He's like, tells her that they won. Picks her up to take her down to see Griffith. Mm-hmm. And then he's like, hey, wait, that sword. Where the hell did that come from?
That looks familiar.
And he thinks, oh, boom.
Shoot.
Nosferatu Zod.
What a good name.
Why, oh why, did the guy who almost killed him in their last meeting throw him a sword? And what does he say? The eclipse will soon come, and the demon advent approaches.
I've heard about that eclipse. 1 year hence, so be the time of the eclipse. That's my note card.
What are they talking about? So now we cut back to the kingdom where a bunch of the nobles and royalty under the king are talking about Griffith, acknowledging that, like, well, he's going to come back and get a promotion. He's doing so well, the king loves him. And they're like, we better kill this dude. Who's the ringleader of this? What's his name? The bald guy, the short bald guy?
He's basically like the eunuch from
No,
Game
what's
of
his
Thrones,
name, though?
I forget his actual name. Yeah, I'm bad with names.
We'll say it. I think it has an F with it. Begins with an F. So they're like, yeah, we want to kill Griffith before he, like, rises in the ranks. Mm-hmm. And then they're like, but how are we going to do that? And then out of the shadows comes the queen. And, like, she thinks / knows that he killed, in the previous book,
one of the other generals, the commander guy.
No, it was the king's brother who she was having an affair with.
Yes, but he was also like
he was, yeah, and I can't remember his name, but that's when Guts snuck in and killed him, and then had to kill the little boy. Mm-hmm. So she blames Griffith for that. So she wants Griffith dead. So she supports this. So Griffith is no doubt gonna get like a celebration in his honor. So what they plan is that they're gonna poison his chalice, and he's gonna drink from it and die there. Mm-hmm. That's the plan. So. Okay. Sorry, I got like a headache from talking so much.
No worries.
Okay.
But yes, so we see here like we talked about that the queen discusses her love affair with that general because they talk about how the king is, you know, he's a great man, a great king, just a bad husband and father because you know, taking care of an entire kingdom requires a lot of time and doesn't leave him much time for his family or especially his wife. So, you know, she sought love in other places.
His brother, why not? So, the Band of the Hawk returns, and they realize that, like, basically, like, they've won the war, that they're going to be celebrities, mm-hmm. They have all these women fawning for them, they can't believe it, they're like, oh my god, we were nothing, we made it, we followed Griffith, he led us here, look at us, we're going to be famous. And then, you know, also, like, the group that decided to kill Griffith, they took a blood oath. They took a blood oath over that. So, then, like, as they're arriving, the little bald dude who was, Minister Foss, that's his name. Foss, I was right, F. So, Minister Foss gets a note, and it startles him. We don't know what the note says, but he's like, I gotta go. I gotta get out of here. And they're like, and he's,
his whole disposition.
Yeah, and he's just like, how did this happen, you bastard? He's mumbling to himself. So, he walks away. Griffith is arriving in all of his glory. Looks handsome as ever.
As always.
Then look at them in nobility.
That's a good splash page.
Yeah, man. So, like, they're at this party in their honor. All these women, again, are fawning all over them. The other noblemen are...
Jealous, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they're jealous, and they're like, oh, we can't wait till he drinks his poison tonight. Casca shows up in a dress. I think it kind of makes Guts think naughty things about her, which we come back.
Because, like, you know, until this point, like, Casca is always, like, the tomboy of the Band of the White Hawks because, you know, like, she's got to prove herself against these other dudes, and, you know, he hasn't really seen a feminine side, I guess, of Casca until now, so.
So, yeah, King's gonna basically knight or like nobilize Griffith. Oh, he promotes them. Exactly. He like basically promotes them to like part of the army, like the royal army.
But also in doing so, knighting them, and they become basically honorary noblemen. Because they weren't.
Oh yeah, we're gonna be nobles.
Exactly, they weren't of any noble bloodline, but because of their prowess in the battlefield, he's bestowing upon them the title of, the prefix title of White. So they're going to be the White Hawks. The band of the White Hawks, in the same way that there was the White Tigers that couldn't beat the purple. A lot of color and animals, but them being the White Hawks is of significance because now they're like the official army of Midland. So,
all right, so now we got the dude poisoning the chalice, approaching Griffith.
Yeah,
they go to make a toast to the new heroes. Yeah. Griffith drinks from the chalice. Chalice drops. Griffith falls dead. Griffith is dead.
And end of the book.
End of the book. There's no more 13 volumes coming out.
Nope.
So Casca's scared as hell. She's like, oh my god, Griffith is dead, blah, blah, blah. Minister Foss is still looking suspect. Everyone's so happy. Then we see the dude who poisoned him getting away on a horse, only to be stopped by...
Yeah, real quick.
digging the hat.
Not digging the hat. Okay, so what I was going to say was when I got to this page, I was like, hell yeah, that's such a good... I love this Three Musketeer...
What the hell? Who just sneezed? Was that Nick?
I think you're hearing things. It might have been the radio. Of course there was Nick.
Gesundheit! What's up with this hat, man? You liked it?
The hat is so good. I was gonna say,
I can turn my opinion on that.
I'll have to I was gonna say I want to find a figure or bust of Three Musketeer Guts because that's such a good look for him.
So he beheads dude in one foul swipe. Man, dude, they behead people in here like George Lucas cuts off arms in Star Wars, man. Like, there is a lot of that going on. So then it cuts back to this tower where Foss and that group of noblemen and the queen are meeting to basically have a little celebration because they killed Griffith, and they're all happy about it. And then I think the sunlight is what gives him the sign, right?
Thank you, Skylar. Hey, Nick, Skylar says bless you.
So anyways, they're having this meeting, and Foss, once again, is still acting all weird, and he's like, oh my god, like, what's, or everybody else is like, what's going on with you? He's like, nothing, you know what, I gotta go get some fresh air. I'm leaving.
We completed the plan, we should be all good.
Yeah,
that's where we went.
So he walks out of the room, and... all of a sudden, smoke starts rising from the floorboards, and then all of a sudden, a big fire comes up and kills half of them. And they go for the door, and the door is locked. It's barricaded. They're barricaded in. Foss barricaded them in, and then the queen goes to a window and looks out, and who's there? But Griffith. Boom! She can't believe it. Neither could I.
Giving him the eyeball.
Look at him, looking all handsome and shit. He's got that ponytail going.
Yeah.
Wait, he's got a ponytail there and then no ponytail.
These are some good alternate costumes for their fighting game.
Oh wait, dude, I can't believe that. That's crazy.
What?
I didn't look at this in order, and I was like, he's got a ponytail here, but no ponytail here. And then I looked at the frame in between, and he's unraveling his ponytail, and I'm like, oh, of course. Beautiful indeed. So, the queen starts cursing Griffith, asking how what?
That right page is a good shot.
Oh, I actually thought that was super badass. Yeah, that looks like that could be a comic book cover, man.
It's like an old horror comic cover.
That's really cool. So she's like wondering like how this happened. She doesn't like understand it, and then boom, right on cue, she goes up in flames. So Griffith gets his revenge, kills all the people who try to have him killed, and then approaches Foss, and he's like, how do you feel playing a role in helping me kill everybody? And Foss is like, how did you know? So basically, in the last book, we saw that Griffith had this weird stare down scene with Foss.
Yeah.
And he basically tells him that ever since then, he knew that Foss wouldn't stand for him to rise in the ranks, so he just assumed at some point he would try to kill him.
Exactly, yeah.
So, basically detective work, and then he's like...
a little guesswork too, but it paid off.
Yeah, and then he's like, okay, well, now our business is done. Let's tear up your little blood oath. I confiscated that. Yep. Don't ever do that again, and we'll go our separate ways. That's that. And that's that. So, we find out, too, that the way he got Foss to do this was he had held his daughter captive.
Yeah, yeah.
So pretty messed up, actually. But then he pays off the people that held her captive, and we find out that they, like, treated her real nice and, like, all that stuff, blah, blah, blah. And then they're going to get away, or, you know, they're going to walk away because they got their reward. And Musketeer Guts comes out again and, boom, beheads all of them, kills them.
Slaughters them, yeah.
And then Griffith is basically like, all right, nobody can know about this. This was, like, a plan between him and Guts only. And he's pretty confident that Faust won't ever say anything because he got his daughter back. So then they go back, and this is where they reveal to everybody that Griffith is still alive, and everybody is thrilled. And here's the funeral for the Queen. Pretty cool splash page, nothing too crazy. See, dude, I don't know, man. We're over halfway through, and this is still pretty good. No, it's still damn good. The more I'm reviewing this, the more I'm like, wow, this is great. Okay. So, 1 month later, and as promised, we see Guts attempting to leave.
Yeah, one snowy night.
So, Casca awakens.
Yeah.
She sees him leaving. Yeah, she goes outside to stop him.
Said anything, just kind of wandering off.
And basically, he says that because he can't be Griffith's equal while he's underneath him, he needs to leave and gain something of his own so that he can be Griffith's equal. Like, that's his purpose in life. Like, he wants to be Griffith's equal. Right? That's what you took away from this?
Yeah, because that's the thing is, it's like, not necessarily like a jealousy type thing, but like a thing of feels like he kind of needs to prove himself, so he will be seen as an equal and not just like a lesser member of the Band of the Hawks. Even though he's like, you know, one of the commanders, like the raid commander, but it's still, you know, he wants to be equal, if not better.
So from there, Casca's talking to him, then Corcus and Judeo, you know, end up showing up, and they're like, let's go get a drink first and, like, talk about this. And, like, Corcus is being his usual jackass self.
Judeo is awesome.
Yeah, and Judeo's like, I get it, man. Like, you have a dream. Like, you want to go chase it. Like, that makes sense. Like, I support you. So, yeah, man, I don't know. We're getting pretty close to the end. This is a pretty damn good book. I'm thinking more of a 10 out of 10 again, the more I'm reading it. So, yeah, there's a lot of... This is that conversation still. Pretty drawn out, actually. Corcus throws a little hissy fit. There's Judeo saying, like, that's pretty cool, you can do that. And then he goes to walk him off, and so Judeo's seeing him off, and this is where... Oh, yeah, and then he's like, yeah, why didn't you go for Casca? Yeah. And he's like, what? No, she loves Griffith. And he's like, no, he's like... Griffith wants to have a kingdom. The best way to get to a kingdom is the princess. He's going to do that. That's what Griffith wants. That's his goal. And Guts is like, wow, I never thought about that. I never thought about Casca in that way. So he's kind of like having that thought for the first time. And as he's having this thought, as they're talking about this, man, this is like a long conversation.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Still good. They get to a point where they're stopped by Casca, Judeo, Corcus, and Pippin. Scotty.
Pippin, for 3.
And Griffith. And they're like, so you're leaving? Like, and Griffith is like, you're quitting. And Guts is like, I'm sorry, I am. And this, like, shocks him. And he's like, you're not leaving, actually.
Way back when?
Remember when I fought you with my sword in that volume 1? When we first met, you're my property.
Yeah, you are mine.
And so he throws down his blade, and he's like, yeah, if you want to walk away, we're sword battling.
You've got to get through me first.
So Guts is like, all right, I oblige. And Casca's like, what? No, you guys don't have to do this. This is one of the splash. Dude, this... I want a poster of this. This could be hung in my room.
I was going to say, we should get back-to-back back tattoos of this.
Whoa.
I'll get Griffith.
I was going to say, I got Guts, so that worked out.
There we go.
Okay. Settled. That was easy.
And then you and I just always standing next to each other, shirtless, back-to-back, showing off those sweet Berserk.
Mike, someone's here to see you. John, we got to go up front. Take your shirt off. All right.
Yeah. Turn around.
So, then there's like this series of like internal dialogue where like everyone's basically acknowledging internally that Guts has improved so much since he's joined the Band of the Hawks that like he might actually be a match for Griffith.
Yeah.
And even Griffith acknowledges that if he doesn't do this exactly right, he's going to lose. Like he has one shot to defeat Guts, and he's going to take it. And he's like, I might even kill him, but I'm going to do it because I would rather kill him
Then let him leave.
than let him leave my grasp. He is obsessed with Guts because he doesn't get what he wants without Guts. Guts is like his horse, his stallion.
They mentioned that when Casca and Guts were gone, Griffith said that they were vital parts of the Band of the Hawks. So he acknowledges that like both Casca and Guts are well needed for them to actually succeed.
So they're gonna throw down here. Yeah, and again, this is a lot of that internal monologue. It's not too much internal dialogue, man. You think it's too much talking?
No, man. I mean, it's, to be fair, like I said, it is stuff that we do kind of know. So it did felt a little like long in the tooth in some parts. Like a lot has happened, sure, but I feel like some of it could have been cut a little bit shorter. I don't know.
So, out of nowhere, like as this internal dialogue is happening, Griffith decides to go in for the shot, and he goes to attack, and he's like, I got one shot at this. He swings his sword, and he expects Guts to deflect it, and then Guts ends up being quicker than he thought, and he beats him to the punch, and Guts... Okay.
So he basically shows that he would have landed, like, a killing blow on him. Like, he strikes down right over his shoulder, like, right by his neck, but, like, stops short.
But let me ask you this. Okay. He stops short there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you don't think he cuts him at all?
I mean, it might have been like a superfluous cut, like he's not like bleeding after.
Well, okay, because it doesn't look like he is here. It does not. But just keep that in mind, because I'm going to point something out later. Okay? And then he drops the sword, which kind of implies that like his arm is injured.
I think he might have just been like
shocked,
stunned by the
right?
Of, like, oh crap.
I'm not disagreeing, but just keep in mind that like Guts landed the sword on top of Griffith's right shoulder.
Yep.
And it does not look like he cut into him.
Yeah.
I agree. Okay. Just making sure we're on the same page there. So, Guts being the badass he is, he's like, take care.
Just walking away.
And he just walks away. And that's it. Like, that's it. He just walks away, says nothing, and everybody is shocked. Griffith especially. Griffith is torn by this, as seen by his naked, cowering... He's probably got his jean shorts on. There are dozens of us. This is a cool splash. This looks more like pencil work than the rest of it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that one was a cool shot, too. Yeah, it's just a change of, like, medium there.
So.
Oh, speaking of tattoos, when I got to the next page, when I got to this one, I'm like, I guarantee there's somebody in the world right now with this tattoo on their body, and I'm like, I can't blame them. If anything, maybe jealousy, but I'm like, that's a sweet shot.
That is really badass, actually.
But yeah, Thus Begins Volume 9.
I definitely have seen dudes at anime conventions with the
Behelit?
No, the brand.
Oh yeah. The brand of sacrifice, which we've got the pin of for Deluxe Volume 1. But yeah, that one I saw, I'm like, that's gotta be...
So cut to Guts the night after he left, and he's just being alone for the first time, kind of having this like reflection on like what happened over the last 3 years, and then he gets this like feeling over him, like he's being like that same feeling he got from Nosferatu Zod, and so like he like thinks Zod is behind him, and he goes and swings his sword. I said that really enunciated. Sword, and there's nothing behind him, but then there is something. And it's this like skeleton figure that's not Zod, and he gives him this ominous warning that I believe Mike already gave to us, and he's calling him the struggler, and telling him of the eclipse, and we keep hearing about this, and we don't know what it is. Mike, do you know anything about it?
1 year from now. Well, I know that 1 year from now, 1 year hence shall be the time of the eclipse. You and your friends, those yet unclean of flesh of flesh. He gives a very cryptic, prophetic warning about 1 year from now and an eclipse.
And then as he like vanishes,
so good. I just love this one. Like, it was almost comedic. Maybe it's just me, but like, he's just out here alone, and then out of nowhere there's this. Maybe I just had this funnier voice for him in my head of just this like cackling skull man that just rode up on him, gives just a quick monologue, and then just ghosts on him.
I didn't think it was cackling. But then Guts refers to him as the Skull Knight, so like he has heard of this guy in lore. Okay, then it cuts to the princess of Midland, who is in love with Griffith.
Yep.
And she's hanging out in her bedroom, and out of nowhere on this rainy night, after Griffith has lost Guts, he's hanging out in her window, because why not, and enters her bedroom, and very un-Griffith-like, uncharacteristically, kind of jumps the gun on his plan, and seduces the princess.
Yep.
And start of the everlasting night. I like that title.
Good name.
What are you talking about? This book rocks.
Mature warning coming up here too.
Actually, yeah. Okay, so
the kids.
Yeah, so he's seducing her, and it's pretty seductive, and it's pretty vivid, and he takes her. Is that the long-legged thing you were talking about?
No, it's later on.
Okay, and
it's when he gets no, that's all right.
So he does take the virginity of the princess, which is a no-no in Midland, and
or most noble society.
Yeah, and he's got this crazed look in his eye the whole time that they keep like zooming in on. But then we also see like through the keyhole, one of the maidens notices that she's in there having sex with Griffith, basically, and okay, this is what I was referring to. So, okay,
oh, I see. Yeah.
So he wakes up in bed, or he's maybe never went to sleep, and he's touching his shoulder where Guts swung the sword, and there's that scar there. Do you see it?
Although, to be fair, like, in this scene, I thought that this was, like, almost a callback to when he was in the lake after...
Scratching himself?
Yeah, I thought that it was him, like, self-inflicting again.
Okay, maybe that is. That might make sense, too.
Because, I mean, it's kind of a similar situation of, here he is, like, after a night with somebody, and he's kind of doing it, just out of the benefit of forwarding his dream. Like, I don't think he's really
That's
in love
fair.
with the princess. So, like, I thought that it was just kind of like a callback to that of something, like maybe he's having like a breakdown of like, oh, unclean again.
Oh yeah, maybe that's the scar from when he did it.
Possibly,
then.
yeah.
Oh, I thought that was on his forearms.
Maybe it's
okay.
A fresh one, but
you can see why I thought that. That was an interesting notice. Okay, so that happens, and then like the princess is just thinking about what happened, how in love with him she is, and she notices the blood on her sheets from that. And as Griffith is escaping, he gets stopped. He's surrounded by the army because that maiden went and tattled on him.
Yep.
And so the king has been informed about this, and he goes into the princess's room to see if it's true, and he pulls the sheets off of her and sees the blood and realizes that it's true. So then we cut to the fallen hawk. So wait, did you see this twist happening?
Which twist? Of them, like...
Did you think, going into this book, did you think it was going to end with Griffith being captured? I mean, at this point...
No, not at all. I mean, like...
So that was a shock to you?
Yeah.
Okay, because I'm wondering, like, how you were reacting to this as you were going through it.
I was like, oh man, that's wild. Like, seeing kind of where it would go. Speaking of twist, I didn't know where this was going to go, because this next scene of...
Yeah, this gets wild.
Scene, and then where it goes from there, that was a twist I certainly didn't see.
No, it's a little weird.
And real quick, subtle thing, maybe it's just me that cares, that panel at the top of him in the prison there.
Yeah.
I talked about it before in book one of... I never really read Berserk, but I knew about it through like other media, including a video game called Dark Souls. And it's funny because in Dark Souls, there's a lot of allusions to Berserk stuff, including there is a scene that takes place in like a castle dungeon, and like that Iron Maiden in the background is like set pieces that are used, like those racks. So it was just funny seeing that, like a weird call out or this was the reference that was in a video game that I really liked. So I don't know. That was a small thing that I kind of liked of just seeing that kind of stuff, because yeah, obviously Berserk, very influential piece of manga. So
I would not have known that. So thank you for sharing.
But the video game definitely did not have what happens here in the dungeon.
So Griffith has been taken captive by the king, and he goes to visit him, and basically is asking like why he did something so foolish when he could have been rising in the ranks, and he starts whipping him, and then Griffith starts talking smack to the king as he's getting tortured, and he's like, why don't you want me to have her? Why don't you let anybody have her? She's 17 and you don't let anybody have her. You want her for yourself. You're sick. Like he basically calls him out, saying like, you're in love with your own daughter.
Yeah.
And he's like, what? Like the king is like appalled by this.
I never.
Yeah, and so he starts going nuts and whipping the shit out of Griffith. This is an insane. Yeah, you got to buy this book so you can see this stuff in person. It's wild. What were you talking about? 8 out of 10? What's 8 out of 10 so far?
The little torturer guy is 8 out of 10.
What? I thought you were going to love that.
No, he was cool. I like this little guy.
I love the way that there's dialogue.
Yeah, his little like lispy, yes sir, yes sir.
Shire.
Sire.
You're certain. Oh yeah, dude.
Wait a minute, yeah. All right, 9 out of 10. We're back to 9 out of 10.
Okay, so Griffith calls him out, here, and on trying to be in love with his daughter. So then he tells the torturer, he's like, you can do anything you want to him, just don't kill him. Do anything you want, leave him alive for a year. A year, huh? Weird. What's happening in a year? So then the king goes back to his daughter's room and tells the guards to not let anybody in or out.
And then the book ends, and then that's it.
And he starts thinking about Griffith touching her.
Real quick before we turn that page, question from Babby Yoda in the chat. First off, what's up, Babby Yoda? Thanks for coming by. But is it the truth the father, quote unquote, loves his daughter, or is he overprotective?
Stay tuned to find out.
Yeah, or turn away and turn off the stream and just, never worry about it.
So he goes to the bedroom and starts thinking about Griffith touching her and touching her lips.
Yeah, he's like, oh, these are lips that his lips touched.
And her breasts, her perfect breasts, just like her mother. And then he takes her clothes off. And then he starts doing things that fathers should not do to their daughters. And then that's where that ends for the moment. And then it cuts to Griffith being tortured as shit in this prison still. And then it cuts back to the bedroom. And she wakes up and she's appalled. She's, scared. He's like, what? I'm sorry, this isn't what, you think. And then he goes in for more and starts doing stuff he shouldn't do. And then she starts kicking at his face and, really injures him. Knocks his eye out, basically. Kicks his eye out.
She went berserk on him.
And he runs out of the room because his face is now disfigured. And he's blaming Griffith. And then... So from there, it cuts to the Band of the Hawk. They've been called out to this field by Griffith, who's been captured without their armor. And everyone's like, man, this is kind of weird. And then they realize that it's a trap, and a bunch of arrows hail down. And
the Midlands army surrounded them and is firing upon them.
And it basically looks like they're all killed. That's basically the impression that they give you.
Yep.
Then it cuts back to this dude torturing Griffith, talking a bunch of shit to him. And he takes off his behelit, and he drops into the sewer.
And it just floats away.
And that's where that book ends. So now we've got only just a little bit left to get some resolve here in this edition of Berserk.
I hope we do.
So, remember, Guts left, then all this shit went down. Guts left, Griffith kind of went insane, seduced the princess, got captured, the Band of the Hawk got attacked, and as far as we know, they were all killed.
King went more insane, too, but...
King went more insane. So, cuts to Guts. What he's doing now, he's basically just...
You're not wrong, Charlie.
You're not wrong. Guts leaves, and he goes and basically is just traveling, fighting strong people. That's basically the gist of it. Just living a warrior's life.
He goes to tournaments in different kingdoms and, wins the prize money and then just, kind of goes on to the next tournament. Yeah,
and so this guy who's running this tournament sees how strong Guts is, and Guts defends or defeats this other strong opponent, and he's like, hey, I want to offer you a job. You should defend my castle. There's this crazy band of thieves coming. Oh, this is also almost a year after.
Later, yeah.
This is a year later. So, yeah, right. So he's like, you should come and defend my castle. I hear there's this small band of thieves coming, led by a woman, and
a woman.
Yeah, and Guts is like, a woman? What do you mean? And he realizes that it's Casca. This is another one. I want this as a poster.
Yeah, we'll also get that on our backs. There's a lot of room on our backs for Berserk tattoos.
True, we do with big backs. We're very muscular. So he's basically like, what the hell do you mean? There's a woman lead. He realizes that it's Casca, and he's like, oh my god, what's going on? So, cuts to this little camp where the remains of the Band of the Hawk, who are now down to a fifth of what they were after they were attacked by the Midland Army, and they're just basically a group of stragglers at this point, just trying to make it by, much like they were before. They don't know where Griffith is, but they just find out, I think in this scene.
Yeah. Somebody just found out that
he's in the basement
Griffith
of Midland.
Is still in the Midland Castle. And yeah, I was gonna say, like, they're at a fifth power, not just from when they were first attacked, but also just because of like atrophy throughout the year of like some people died from other attacks, some people just left because they didn't really believe in the cause anymore without Griffith. But a fifth of the people have survived or stuck around with Casca, except for this guy who gets chakrammed in the head.
Yeah, and so they end up getting attacked by the group that king or that leader was trying to recruit Guts for. Mm-hmm. They get attacked, and he ended up getting the opponent that Guts beat to lead the attack.
Yeah, he worked with the king. He was like a basically like Indian, like Middle Eastern style fighter. He's got those those punch knives. I forget what they're called.
Yeah, they're pretty crazy, dude.
But and then he uses like chakram, and then he has like these whip swords, which is another like Indian weapon. So it's pretty cool seeing, like, I don't know, the kind of real life different fighting styles, other than just like here is big dude with big weapon. That is usually the trope of Berserk so far.
So in the midst of battle, this dude ends up getting Casca down, and he's about to kill her basically, and then out of nowhere, boom. Kick in the ass by none other than Guts.
Exactly.
And everybody in the Band of the Hawk is like, oh my god, Guts is back! And so...
Raider leader Guts.
Yeah, so they're able to kind of rally behind that, and they defeat this little, attack. They fend it off. This is where the dude starts attacking with the ropes. I was thinking about this earlier. It's pretty badass, actually. Really cool fight scene. You should really buy this book. 15% off if you mention this ad.
Tell them Johnny and Mike sent you.
Yeah, tell me I sent you. I won't believe you.
What do you
like, Johnny who?
I've never seen you in my life, don't lie.
Who are you? So, yeah, this fight's just continuing. What did you think of this fight?
It was cool, and like we definitely, like this guy says here, he kind of gets defeated, and then he's like, I'll see you later. I'm sure he'll keep that promise.
Oh, yeah. Smooth move, man. So, then, like, Casca and Guts see each other on the battlefield, and Guts goes to approach her, and yeah, basically she's Griffith. She's like, screw you.
Can you go back?
Yeah.
Was it this page? Oh shoot, back one more. There's a good thumbs up scene. There's just one panel. There it is, right in the middle of the page, where he gives a thumbs up. It's so good.
Want a poster of that? So, yeah, he goes off to Casca, the whole Band of the Hawks. Like, we're so happy to see you, and like, this is what happened. Like, Griffith got attacked after you left, or Griffith got kidnapped after you left. We got attacked. We've just been surviving ever since. Casca's been our leader. You should go talk to her. So, Guts goes to talk to her, and where is it? She basically like gets fucking pissed at him, right? Where is it?
P.S. Corcus still sucks.
Yeah, he's talking a bunch of smack. Here we go. This is where it is. So, he goes to talk to her one-on-one, and she just goes nuts on him and starts attacking him with the sword and, trying to kill him. And, she's like, this is your fault. As soon as you left, everything, like, crumbled. Griffith went insane. And he's like, no, like, it's not my fault. I had to follow my own path. How about we go rescue Griffith?
Yeah.
Like, and, basically, that's what they decide that they're going to do, right?
Yeah. That they're going to try and stage a rescue mission for Griffith.
Yeah, there's a little bit more conversation going on. This is a little long here, I'll give you that.
Language, Charlie. We had the mature warning. I mean, you weren't here at the beginning, but we had the mature warning at the beginning that there's going to be some blood and guts and definitely some nudity. Yeah,
so in the midst of this conversation about rescuing Griffith, Casca and Guts basically reveal that they have feelings for each other after this year apart, and they end up giving into those feelings in Bomb Chicka Wah Wah. So we get another
look away again.
Few pages of sex scene between them, pretty intimate. Wow, this is very graphic.
8 out of 10, huh?
And then in the midst of this, Guts has a flashback to when he got raped by that dude that Gambino sold him out to. He's having some horrible, weird things happening.
And then, he starts, like, he sees himself as Casca, and he starts, trying to choke him.
Kind of a weird scene.
Yeah, and then he also kind of reveals in this like trance-like state that he killed
Gambino. Oh yeah, and he like opens up to Casca about all that stuff that we already knew about him.
Yeah, but she hadn't until now. So they have a quick heart-to-heart. She forgives him, and then they pick up where they left off.
Wait, that is the end of this one?
Yeah. Weird. What a kind of lame place that it ends on.
I did read
8 out of 10.
Further than that.
Yeah, because as did I, because I also have the book that follows, and I was I enjoyed it. Like there was nothing wrong with it. I enjoyed it. and I kept reading.
Yeah, I feel like it ended in the middle of that book.
The chapter that follows this is such a good cliffhanger that I.
No, but I think that's literally. I think this didn't end at the right spot. I think that's not the end of chapter or of book 9, because it's supposed to be book 7, 8, and 9. I'm dead serious, dude. Hold on.
If that's the case, I don't know, but somebody bring us a graphic novel number 7 or number 9.
Because it says it's only got 2 chapters here. Wounds number 2. They usually have like more than 2 chapters.
Yeah. Like I mean, there's like a longer chapter, but like I'm pretty sure that like graphic novel number 10, whatever the chapter that follows this one, would have been such a better cliffhanger because like it kind of reveals some of the state of the world, where things are after this year, in such a cool like way that I'm kind of bummed that like all we get is just like the lovey-dovey ending. Maybe that's just me. I would have preferred like the cool action ending that we get in like the preceding chapter, but man, what a bummer. Not a huge bummer, but like it's just a thing of I'm like, okay, well that's an interesting ending, and then, like I said, I read the next chapter, like that would have been a way better ending, but also what's up, Skylar? Thanks for coming back.
There's the cover art for 7, 8, and 9.
Yeah,
pretty badass.
Some sweet cover art as always.
So, you gave it what? 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10?
8 out of 10, yeah.
8 out of 10?
8 out of 10, yeah.
Check, yes. Even a 9 out of 10. So, 10, 10, and 9 for the first 3 Berserk volumes for me. That's pretty good, though.
That's exactly what we were saying, Yoda. That in our dual back tattoos that we have of that. Can you find? It might be too hard to find that splash page again, but yeah, Johnny would have the Guts side, I would have the Griffith side.
Oh yeah, you got the lankiness for it. So, how you feeling, Mike? You still want to read book 4 eventually?
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, hey man, if I had my druthers, next Thursday, Berserk Deluxe Edition Volume 4.
Do you want to do
10,
it?
11, 12.
Just back to back them. You get a lot more out of it.
And then we've got book 5 already, so let me do that. And then by then...
Oh, book 6 should be in?
Say 6 would be in by then.
Are we just doing a Berserk marathon? Sounds like you want to.
Thanksgiving, yeah. I am thankful for Berserk. I mean, as much as I do, we're good without that. But, I mean, hey, how about this then? Anybody in the chat, if they have any suggestions for what our next book should be, either books that you guys have read that you really enjoy, or books that you kind of haven't read, and just like us, it's a good excuse to read books that we've never read and talk about on the stream. So we didn't really have anything planned for this one. The past, like, October we had books planned out. November 5th, of course, we had to do V for Vendetta, and then by then Berserk Deluxe Edition Volume 3 finally came in, so we kind of had to, do that one. But, we're back to the usual schedule of Johnny and I will have suggestions, but also we're more than interested to hear what you guys in the chat have. If you have any books, DC, Marvel, or indie that you want us to read. Otherwise, I don't know. We might throw in we might have like a die that we roll, and I'm definitely gonna have Berserk on one of those. But yeah, if anybody has any suggestions, Johnny, anything that you would want to read other than Berserk Volume 4?
Dawn of X1, if we're throwing a die, I would want
Dawn of X1. Oh, okay, yeah. So for those, in the same way that we read House and Powers of X, Dawn of X.
Sorry, I kind of got a headache. I'm not trying to.
Oh no, you're good. No, yeah. I understand. Yeah, there's a lot at once. But Dawn of X1 it's X-Men issue number 1. It's have you ever done the Inuyasha manga series? No, we have not. Unfortunately, Scott, I don't think we have any in the store because I feel like I want to say I tried to like look into that, and certain books are kind of like awkwardly out of print or harder to get. Like I know we've got the Lone Wolf and Cub stuff, like there's omnibuses of it, but I feel like those have been out of print or at least difficult for us to get through Diamond. So Inuyasha, I don't believe we have. We have like Attack on Titan. We have the My Hero Academia. We've got some One Piece, Dragon Ball Super, um, Tokyo Ghoul, that one with the animals, Beast something or other, Beast Wars if only. So we do have a lot of manga, and then of course all of the horror manga, the Junji Ito stuff. But yeah, no Inuyasha. Um, but yeah, sorry, the Dawn of X stuff is basically the number one issues, the first issues of all of the X books that were out at the time. So it was like Fallen Angels, Excalibur, Marauders, X-Men, and I think X-Force.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, it was like 5 or 6 number one issues of that series because it's cool because
catching up with
those Dawn of X books they have in that format where it's these one-ofs. I mean, there's still like a graphic novel of that. Oh, you can hear that? Hell yeah!
I think a buffer.
That's the yeah, it's like the Zamboni that we've got going through the mall. I can never tell how loud it is on the mic, so I apologize for stuff like that in the background. I'm sure you can usually hear the weird mall music in the background too. It's so good. Okay, so Dawn of X, we got Berserk Volume 1. Does Mike want anything like that? Thanks, Charlie. We try to keep it clean here. How do you feel about that's too much though. I was gonna say like Green Lantern Blackest Night. I was always interested in getting back into.
I think that's a pretty long.
I was gonna say like that's like an event like that crosses like a bunch of different DC titles. But there was like, I think there was like a standalone like Blackest Night like 1 through like 12 or whatever like that. Were you ever interested in Doomsday Clock? Now that there's like trade paperbacks of that, or that might be a wild one.
No.
Yeah.
No, I'm not feeling that.
No worries.
We need some suggestions.
Yeah, Charlie, Skylar, any suggestions? What do I got here? I've got Longbow Hunter, or not Longbow Hunters. I've got some sweet Green Lantern, Green Arrow stuff. Don't ask about that one, Charlie. That's
the Doomsday Clock.
Exactly. Yeah, that is the Doomsday Clock.
I don't know.
Give me 1 second to check if you want to ramble for a second, because I have now that we've got for those of you who haven't stopped by the store, we have Johnny and I have our own little cubby sections in the trade paperback area. Something up with the camera. It might be my chair. If you're talking about like that kind of creaking stuff. Unfortunately, this chair kind of sucks. So as I sneak around, it makes noises. But yeah, give me 1 second. Let me creak one more time. So I thought I had a book. There was one book that I really wanted to read.
Not gonna lie, I really want to read Berserk 4, but I know we can't. That doesn't make any sense. What do you mean there's something wrong with it? It's ticking? Oh, it looks like it's bouncing back and forth. That's weird. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. It's spazzing out, it looks like. Are you guys getting some bad feedback over there or something? What's going on? Did anybody actually read it? We just did a whole month of horror comics for Halloween. Yeah, we read some like old Chiller comics. We did The Long Halloween by the Batman book. We did Marvel Zombies. What do you got?
I have actually here. Do you have anything? Oh man, just Skylar, I was just over there. I've got so many. If you want to show these off, these are I'd say my 2 suggestions. 2 fantasy ones. Oh, is it making an audible clicking? Oh, that's gross. I apologize for that. I mean,
and it's like,
that we could do. But
do you see it? It's like spazzing.
I mean, every once in a while, it has the autofocus thing. I think I could turn that off.
You want to read The Hobbit? Shit. I'm gonna agree to it. All right. But this review next week, we can't, like, dwell on this because this looks like a lot of dialogue. Oh, my God, you ass.
It's literally a children's book.
This is for children?
The Hobbit was written for children. British
Berserk
children.
is better dialogue for children.
Okay.
No, I'll read The Hobbit. You want to do The Hobbit? I've never read it.
You never read The Hobbit?
No.
Okay. So this what this one is, it's a graphic novelization of. We have not done the Creepshow comics. We have done similar ones because the Creepshow comics, I think they actually made a physical like prop out of the Creepshow comics from the movie. Um, but the Hobbit one is just a graphic novelization of J.R.R. Tolkien's, uh, you know, story, The Hobbit, the children's book. Or I've got Slain, the Horned God, something Hulk. Yeah, I guess Johnny, how do you feel about the Immortal Hulk? I know we haven't read it, but
Oh, I would read Immortal Hulk.
yeah,
I
Johnny,
would read the first volume of that.
Charlie, you fine with current Hulk? Because what I've heard, the Immortal Hulk is actually a pretty cool run that changes a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I want to read it.
All right, Immortal Hulk Volume 1. I think I've got one there. Let me so we can show it off so people can follow along at home. Give me 1 second.
Look what we got in today. I didn't purchase it yet, but we ordered 2 of these. One of them's for me. Oh, I can do this thing, I suppose. Deadpool bust. I have the Wolverine and the Magneto. There's the Cyclops and a Jean Grey. I don't know if I want those, though, but if I get Deadpool, I'm not a huge fan of. I kind of feel like I gotta get them all. It's the problem with being me. I get one of something, and I'm like, oh, let's just get the rest. Baby Yoda, you would read that, too? That'd be badass. Like, you'd actually read it? That'd be cool. Get more people talking about it in the chat next week. So, Charlie wants to read it. I want to read it. Sounds like Mike wants to read it. Pappy Yoda wants to read it. That's a lot of votes for Immortal Hulk. The Hobbit. Hurry and climb on. We cannot leave our burglar behind this late in the game. Yeah, Immortal Hulk sounds great. I'm not a big fan of the Lord of the Rings universe. I think I like Harry Potter a hell of a lot more. A hell of a lot more, Dor.
So you like Harry Potter over Lord of the Rings?
Yeah, we don't have Hulk Volume 1, dude.
Yeah. I think Nick must have taken the last one.
Well, the hardcovers are out of print already, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, the hardcovers, but I think you got the last trade paperbacks. So we'll restock the trade paperbacks, but we'll do Immortal Hulk Volume 1. I believe it's issues 1 through 6.
I think you're right.
And we'll have that for next Thursday.
Yeah, and then Tuesday, make sure... Oh.
Which one did you say you read?
Immortal Hulk.
Sounds good. Yeah. So we'll read some current Hulk stuff, which is a good excuse because that one is on like issue like almost like 40 or so.
Yeah.
And I've been hearing good stuff about it ever since it came out, like back in like 2018. I think it's like late 18 was when it started. And it seems like a sweet run. Cover art by Alex Ross. Somebody's doing like with Iron Man now, but yeah, Immortal Hulk Volume 1. This is now we're all just incorrect.
That would mean you're incorrect too, Mike.
I know that Johnny wants to end the stream, but I'll just.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I got a headache.
Johnny, you can leave. I'm going to verbally berate everybody who thinks that Harry Potter is better than Lord of the Rings.
Wait, really? Are you actually staying and doing that? Because if you are, I am going to leave for that.
Thank you everybody for coming on out. It is. Oh my God, Johnny, leave. I know. Right. No. Thank you everybody for coming on out. I hope you had a good time. Thanks for joining us as always. We'll be back next Tuesday. Again, Tuesday we're going to do more pre-recorded stuff, so check out pastimes.net/social to go to our YouTube page. I'd suggest if you want to subscribe to that to get the notifications.
Oh yeah, you got to subscribe.
We'll be doing that probably like afternoonish, maybe like anywhere between like 4 and 6. We should have hopefully a video up.
And check tomorrow too. I want to try to record something tomorrow.
Yeah.
A small like what's in the shop right now kind of thing. And then also, if you don't follow us on Instagram, I've been pretty active on that, which is Pastimes Online on Instagram. It's just Pastimes Online, one word. So you can find us that way, and you get a lot more up-to-date updates. That's quicker that way. It's the most instant way to give you an update. Instagram.
Yeah. So yeah, keep an eye out for that because we're gonna be doing some more short-form stuff and just kind of different comics content for you guys. But yeah, thanks everybody for coming out. We'll be back next Thursday to talk about Immortal Hulk Volume 1, issues 1 through 6. And we will hopefully have some good stuff to talk about with that. So until then, have a good rest of your week. And remember, Lord of the Rings is better than Harry Potter. But also remember,
Jesus Christ,
not all heroes wear capes.
We're going to talk about that next week. All right.